So Cash lived up to the hype for NIP, although Astralis did battle to the very end and gave themselves a good account. But through to Overpass we move, a map that Astralis will be firm favourites to take, and then Cobblestone will be up third if we need it. But NIP will be hungry to secure the 2-0.
Yeah, they absolutely worked tooth and nail in that first map. And again, all the clutch rounds going the way of Astralis and no victory, that's truly rough. Even if they had picked up one of those pistols and just not got ecoed, who knows? A 16-14 game, an OT game, and so they had to kind of expel a lot of effort just to get the results they did. And now they move on to Overpass, and I just mentioned to Gerra, I was like, can you win on Overpass or no? And he said, the last time we played Astralis and Overpass, we won. So.
I mean, it gives some pretty good chances to Astralis maybe then to bow out 2-0. Maybe Nip have something to say about that.
Yeah.
I think with Freiburg as well, like they took his banana away with Inferno. He brought his own, but there's kind of like a banana shape on Inferno, on Overpass. So I'm curious if we're going to see a maybe Wreck House there. Of course on short A, if you not know what I'm talking about.
That's true. Do you curve to the left, Vince?
I thought you'd already know that answer, mate. Spent a lot of time together. Brilliant. Anyway, Overpass Knife has came and gone. I believe that Astralis won that for themselves. So we're moving into the second map very shortly. So in terms of predictions, do you go along with Get Right's super optimism and confidence that this is going to be the 2-0 then, or do you think Astralis will take us into a third?
I honestly feel like Astralis just like wore themselves really thin on that last map, put so much effort into trying to win it, and could kind of taste victory a couple of times, even though they battled back, right? And for a large part of the map, were at a deficit. But you know, this is a team that plays multiple games every day. They should have the endurance to put together a long series if they need to. I just wonder if they feel like that 1-0 is just such a bad place to start, even though it wasn't their map pick, even though I'm sure they felt like NIP were favored, a map that they were very confident on. But apparently, NIP have some things to say about their ability to play Overpass as well. And we did see a close series yesterday. NIP forfeited 13 rounds to Epsilon. And I say that because that's a map that they should have just dominated on. Credit to Epsilon, however, played extremely well.
Yep. Well, Epsilon have been, again, similar to how I felt at Tour, was pretty much the standout team for me in terms of maybe punching above their weight a little bit, And it goes to show again that Sweden has such a high caliber of CS teams. You're looking at 3 or 4 teams that are right up there. And the reason, of course, that we have NIP and Astralis in the semi-finals as opposed to the finals, which I personally had is what I thought the way it would go, is because NIP lost against Godsend. They lost against one of the other Swedish powerhouses.
Right. Yeah,
which is why we're here in the semis as opposed to the finals, which is pretty nuts when you think about it.
I think the storyline is just so much more fantastic because of Astralis in this situation. Overcoming this battle would be a huge victory for them. I would love it to go to a third map, and I think Astralis have a lot to say for themselves on Overpass, a map they're extremely proficient on. I wouldn't be surprised by either result, but I'm rooting for a third.
For me, I think Astralis should have this on paper. Even if NIP did get the better of them the last time they played, Astralis have played this map a lot, and they've got some pretty solid results. But they won the knife, they elected to go CT side. Now will be looking to try and tee off on some more frags. Kiabi breaks the deadlock. First kill on Overpass. Nix and him have taken damage. And now Device will be wrapping himself around the back of NIP. This could be so deadly. Actually second guesses himself. So maybe a call came through that it could be a rotation up through Connector. Of course, it's easy for us with the benefit of the minimap and X-Ray to know that this may be not the correct play, but
just so much info. I mean, Device is coming here, on a rotate they might watch, but the amount of info he has right now, the confidence he's going to have when he opens his door that he's going to have opponents and where they might be, it's really stacked against NIP. They have no idea what's about to hit them.
And this is allowing Astralis to go for the boost and to have a heavy investment of players on the B side, and now Device is going to be around the back of them in a couple of seconds. Go for the taps. Oh, he's missed almost everything. Finally gets the headshot. Looking for a second as well, and the rest of NIP have fallen. Solid round by Astralis. Good flank, good rotate, and they will take the pistol.
Yeah, I mean, that just all came down to that big flank from Device, pushing all the way through, getting all that info, and just telling his teammates, listen, you can focus all your attention on B. The short hit's about to come, and that's all they really needed to know. I mean, no reason Astralis should have lost that. And if history repeats itself, Astralis will give up this round, but hopefully that won't be the case in this situation. Though it can be quite easy on terrorist side to try to pull off an eco, but it's actually NIP to not even invest in armor here.
Yeah, we saw this on Cash. It was Astralis getting the bomb plant, deciding to bide their time for the AKs. NIP will be going for a similar strat this time around.
Single flash in the hands of Freiburg. Congregation towards the B site. And not too much forward control taken by Astralis. They would like to battle from their most favorable positions. This means that NIP can get close.
Weapons though at close range should be devastating, especially as Ipnix has got himself the P90 on short, the spray down in effect. Only the 1 kill so far, make it 2, very well make it 3. No, does a lot of damage to Freiburg, but Freiburg with himself a kill, backs away with 2 health. Just delaying the inevitable though, Launders.
Indeed. Any kill is truly a prize though, on a round where you don't invest in armor.
Could get a second, oh, just slightly off. P250 versus MP9, of course, with 2 health. Not really a hope, but Astralis do convert, which they failed to do on Cash. So that's at least going to bolster their opening rounds a little bit on Overpass.
Yeah, just surviving the conversion after the pistol. Very big pickup. And the quick buy up from NIP because, oh, it's because they actually got that plant on the pistol round.
Yeah. Decided to save as a result of the first bomb plant. Get the AKs, a couple of Galils as well. They got the smokes, 4 of them, in fact. Ooh, grenade bounces off the forehead of Get Right, but he's still got 45 health to work with.
Enough for Get Right.
Way's been playing for sure. Freiburg gets bested from Carrigan's MP9, who doesn't decide to go for the Galil. For all he knows, it's a second player up connector, doesn't want to throw away his life, just take the free frag back on off. Nice frag from Device onto Exist.
Wow. Exist gets absolutely man-moded off that peak. Like that.
Now it's going to have to come to NIP, Get Right Forest and Pit to pull a rabbit out the hat. Clutch this round from such a deficit of players. Smoke and a flash to work off. Hot flash out into long, but they don't capitalize on that, Astralis. They don't go for the kill afterwards. This is allow Forrest to push his way in. Player in the smoke, which he seems to have read perfectly, but he was just running out of time, and Astralis are going to fend off the rifle round and flawlessly. They keep all 5 players alive.
Yeah, it looked like NIP had almost nothing to show for themselves. I mean, you lose that early in your default where you come up for bathrooms control and you give up those first 2 kills right away. You know, Kerrigan getting that kill in stairs, doing all that early damage to Get Right on short. I mean, it all tallies up and results in a much easier round to get control of. Again, Overpass is a map where you're going to have to push up quite often on CT side. You know, there's so much map control given to you early on, but it puts you in awkward spots, so good opportunities for terrorists to find early trades, but at the same time, the appropriate setup can catch you off guard. Now Nip back against the wall are having to save 1 more time.
Astralis just nibbling away at Pit and Freiburg's health. 3 Deagles. And it's that kind of round where Nip, any kill really is a bonus. They're not expecting to get a great deal out of this. If they can get a bomb plant, even better. But Astralis, in the meanwhile, have a decent crossfire down from Bathroom, utilizing the smoke to try and spam through, which is going to be boosted up from Get Right. Can't connect the shot, gets picked off from Dupree, and, well, it should be the House of Cards coming crumbling down for NIP from this point. Dice will be the player to put the final execution underway.
Now set to look for the 5-0. If they grab this rifle round, they might have another save on their hands. Similar to how NIP started out last map. So it's going to be up to them to stop the bleeding.
Only 2 kills for NIP in the first 4 rounds as well, so it goes to show that Astralis, their economy is building up nicely. And needed to get that many more weapons replenished.
Right. And over any gun, we had, oh, Zipnix. Wow. A few kills come out.
Kirby with 2, and also able to live to fight another day. Up short. AP again, they are struggling. They're not really getting any foothold in the early stages of the round. Even when they get a kill, it's at the result of 2 deaths. So again, Astralis can just bide their time, back off, and wait for the aggression to come in. NIP seem a little bit worse for wear right now. They haven't had a lot of rounds to show what they're capable of doing. And honestly, Astralis have been playing this one so solidly on their CT side.
Yeah. No traction gained, right? Even unideally, you at least get map control, bring the time down, get forward to bathrooms, maybe lose a man in the process if the CTs have done their job right. But ultimately are in a situation where you could potentially attempt to execute. And Astralis are just winning off these peaks that they don't even need to get their kills in. Doing more than just delaying. Going above and beyond.
One worry down in the back of Astralis' mind. It's Sentry and 2 flashes. That's all they have to stop the push. Nip have 3 smokes and flashes, and they've done a lot of damage now. Onto the truck of Dupree, but Dupree gets a kill before dropping. That's massive for Astralis, and the frags continue to go their way. 20 seconds remaining in the round. Sees exists in a 1-on-3. He's going to get the drop onto Kirby, who is already low. By the hands of Freiburg. 10 seconds. He can't go back. Picking up the bomb on his way. Beautiful headshot onto Device. And this clutch now becomes very possible. The plant goes down as he's being spammed up from behind. ZipNix using the P90 to get up in the face. So close yet so far. The best we've seen from Nip is us for an overpass, however.
Yeah, off the back of those 2 kills in the 1v3. Now, no, Zypex. I think Zypex, I have to go with, is the man to actually pick up a P90 over any other weapon when he had 7K in the bank. Here are the first 2 frags. Nice headshot, but not quite enough. And he actually got called out directly, being pushed up to the box like that. You know, the rare play that you could make is let the time run dry, but fake the plant, and he would have actually had a better chance to get that trade, but Zypex knew that the bomb would be stuck.
IP seemingly wanting a lot of control over connector. It is a key integral part of Overpass. It allows you the quick rotations from one site to the next. Astralis have put a lot of their emphasis on it up until now. Kirby, who pushed through Monster, gets found out from Get Right. And just like that, Astralis now will concede the first kill, which we haven't really seen thus far.
Yeah, it's never Kirby to lose that duel.
Flashbang to the face of Dupree, going to be double smoking. Short side of A, funnels over, NIP onto long.
Nuanced play, but he looks so high to throw that smoke because he's so close to it to make it look like it's bounced from farther away.
Dupree now going to take the initiative and try and force his way up bathroom. Maybe feeling the pinch a little bit being a player behind, but this could take his team from a 1-player deficit into a 2. He at least gets a trade for his troubles and a bit of information on top of that. But not really a worthwhile endeavor. This now puts so much pressure on the shoulders of Device. He's going to wait this position until the rest of his team can make moves, make cracks up from the CT side. And in the meanwhile, Device is taking so much damage from Molotovs through spam as well. Oh, dearie me, if he throws the Molotov. Bounces off the backside of Device, and well, they were going to back away anyway. Doesn't change a great deal. But Nip finally get themselves on the board. Yep. 5-1 now.
Is around, and again, they fundamentally didn't change much. They got the opening frag, right? They shut down that really aggressive pressure that Astralis were trying to get away with, pushed them back, made them recede into CT, and then got their smoke execute. So that's where NIP are able to shine. And now, in the last few moments of this round, are going to try to look for a frag if possible. Someone to take a duel here. The kill won't come out from either side, though. Both players extremely hurt. And Vince, correct me. It's ZipNix, yeah?
I always call him ZipNix.
ZipNix? Okay, yeah, because I know there was a point where no one knew what his name was. And that changed. I'm going to go with ZipNix. It's bothering me in such a bad way.
All right. Britain compared to Canada, it's like the tomato-tomato thing, right?
Yeah, tomato-potato.
There you go. NIP, though, on the board. Now, can they rinse and repeat? Can they connect onto more rounds? Device is going to play aggressively this time. Astralis love to play aggressively on their CT side, but he could very well get found out. It's going to be Exist who's hiding in the playground. Frag comes down. Is he going to get returned on? Yes, he will. So not a bad trade, all things considered from NIP. It's the AWPer down for Forest, who was the top frag on the first round, but oh my goodness, Get Right is going back in again. Down to 10 though. He has to respect Astralis with that health. One stray bullet and he's a dead man.
Dupree recognizing he's got to ninja his way out of there. Bomb going down, he can stop this. The spray, not good enough, the bomb is planted.
Just slightly too far to the left-hand side. Carrigan on the cleanup duty. Finally picks up Freiburg. Bomb still planted. There is smoke down. No need in throwing the Molotov just yet. Make sure that no one's on the site. Defusing. Another smoke will be connecting. Flashbang as well. Get Right's going to be using this smoke. He's still on ton of health, and his teammate of Exist goes in but gets picked off. It's all down to Get Right. First kill goes his way. The diffuser's coming in. Does he realize this? No, he doesn't. Oh, he was banking on the fake. And to be fair, when you got 10 health on 1v3, you have to take risks. Didn't quite pay off that time.
Yeah, he was extremely low and played that to his best of his ability. I mean, could have got reached out for the second frag, but probably would have been immediately traded and the round would have been over, so all or nothing in that situation. And Astralis looked to have broken their money, but Nip actually having such a fruitful round in the one that they won, have enough money to even afford an op. AKs on everybody and enough utility to justify the buy.
A solid incendiary thrown from Astralis. From our perspective, can see that Nip were desperate to get themselves in. Carrigan peeking down connector.
Dupree's already pushed through A.
Seen this before from Astralis. They played well for them last time. They give you so much information from a CT's point of view. Dupree's landed himself the shot as well, and NIP nowhere near fast enough, nowhere near efficient enough to claim the site. It's just Get Right by himself. What a shot that is onto Carrigan! Unreal reaction speed.
Just pass on.
Just as we thought that the rotation, the flank from Dupree was going to be the determining factor, the Get Right effect came into play once again. Still healthy on health. Oh, Exist has looked away. It's probably going to cost Get Right his life. What? Dupree, no! You have to finish your dinner before you go for the desserts. Oh my goodness, you see it happen so often, and that could prove to be so costly for Astralis now, and it will Get Right. But it's the shrug. He's like, how am I still alive?
Not entirely sure if these are replays at this point. He's had so many of these moments, and oh my gosh, after that push, so smart to push through that smoke at that moment, and then to not finish the frag. We saw this happen with Phelps on Mirage, how unfortunate a circumstance that was, and jeez.
I think honestly the shrug and the wave says it all.
It's and how important it was, it's more than a two for one, right? That's an economy breaking round.
Yeah.
Out of Astralis pick it up when they should have. They have earned themselves probably a double save from Nip. An 8-1 scoreline instead.
Well played by Dupree. Biding his time. Using the smoke. Almost Get Right and Get Right. Play that he would do a lot. Forest up onto long. Flash again on point from Astralis.
Interesting to see the immediate recession of all the terrorists out of long. One of the biggest rotates that you'll have in the game to go back through spawn to the other side of the map. Now, if they don't do it quickly enough, Astralis will be happy to rotate. Maybe we'll reach for new information. This time, don't have that incredibly risky big flank to go off of. And so that makes me worry for Astralis, considering it didn't even result in a conversion when they did it last. But maybe because of extenuating circumstances.
He's funneling their way through Monster are the Ninjas. 35 seconds left to execute onto the site successfully. Freiburg on an island of safety and amongst a sea of fire. Bomb gets dropped just before being planted. That's going to hurt NIP's chances now at taking the round. And to be fair to Astralis, they did a pretty solid job of holding the fort regardless. They had kills left, right, and center, going to keep all 5 players alive. 12 for 4 is Dupree.
Yeah.
Forrest, who was one of the top fraggers on Cash, finds himself 1 and 7. That's going to need to change for Nip if they want a chance of bringing this back.
Counter-terrorists win.
Cleaned up so nicely. Stop that B presence, denied the plant as well. That's a huge amount of money that NIP don't have now. And again, even though NIP were able to win that round they weren't supposed to, they did it only having 2 players alive, and that means they're going to be forcing up here, spending all their money, putting 1 AK in the hands of Forrest, relying on that entry, right? The idea here is recycle the AK as much as possible, potentially pick up the gun from your opponent, make this armor worthwhile, but ultimately they're just forced to do it.
This snake could do so much damage. Oh, I decided not to pull the pin. When you see 3 players going through short tunnel, you see someone jumping up and down with the nade, you fear the worst. It's going to be Kevlar behind the pistols. Nice passage of play by Astralis once again. Kirby with a kill, get right, unable to connect with Eagle. Up next is Exist, and will follow suit. Kirby with 4, Astralis with a pretty comfortable round overall, now taking an 8-2 lead, but it was ultimately NIP investing more economy than I first thought. They went all in on that round.
Yeah, they were absolutely destroyed. They anticipating the double save, and because of that, deciding to go for the plant. And it ends up working. They get the bomb down. They do take that early 40 damage, that Tech9 headshot through that headshot angle. And it looks rough. It looks like Astralis conceded too much map control, but there's 10 saved in the past 2 rounds. That's a huge amount of money. Everybody's really stabilized on the CT side. 3 AKs in the hands of Astralis players. The op hasn't even had to go to work yet.
Indeed, it has been quite some time before the Ninjas have managed to squash their bloodthirst, bloodlust. This round could very well prove to be the same as just pistols arsenal for the Swedes. Very passive start. We have seen a couple times Astralis go for the flank, so maybe the idea here for NIP is play passive, hope that one of Astralis push into us, we get the rifle and we have something to work off, but Astralis, in turn, quite passive across the board, just Kirby taking a forward position, and he will be rewarded with a kill and to get right.
Well, the idea is here is not to waste too many lives. Exist maybe want to draw a little bit of attention away, but Kirby holding the stairs. No problem for him. Looking for a 3rd and a 4th kill. Will he get? He does. Headshots across the board. Doesn't go down. And that's 15 players saved in the last 3 rounds.
That is absolutely nuts. So now for Astralis, you're seeing 10k on Kirby, 8.5 Carrigan, 8,000 Dupree, 7.6 for Zipnix. Everyone is wealthy. So with just a few rounds to go in the half, NIP have no gimmies, they have no easy round. It's going to have to be rifle rounds, going in thick and fast, and I believe both of the rounds have been a result of rifles, so maybe that is going to give it a positivity. Hold on a second, did he no-scope before landing the shot?
I have no idea. Unscoped, and then the rest is history. And look at that device answering right back. Let's get right. Tries to help out with the trade. Missing a couple shots to follow, though, and it might cost him his life. Freiburg gets that frag, and it could have been a 3v2 in favor of Astralis. But instead, NIP keep their advantage.
I need a replay of that forest shot.
That was nasty.
I need that in my life. As soon as this round's over, Zipnik's holding the close angle. He can still steady it, but he actually twitches just before Pit peaks to his left-hand side, and very well may have cost him the kill and his life. Kirby, a man possessed in these last few rounds, and he 1-on-3 is going to take away a 3rd of his adversaries, Forest and Pit.
Good opportunity here to get a frag, and oh, he doesn't get it. Pit wins the duel, and it could have been a 1v1 very
damage before dying. I thought he actually had that kill.
Yeah, definitely.
Super close. All right, we're gonna see it. Here we go.
Unscope, boom.
Oh my. That is filthy.
I've never even seen that before. What is that?
I wasn't sure if my eyes were tricking me when I first saw it, but now I know the truth.
Yeah,
Forest.
that was a blink and you miss it moment for sure.
Forest has sold his soul to the devil. That is the only explanation for that shot.
I always knew it. He was too nice. Something was right.
Oh, he said as well that he wasn't having the greatest of starts. Needed to step things up, and step things up he did. Pit through bathroom, taking point. He has 2 teammates just behind him, and an opportunity to strike. 1-for-1 trade. Device again, very fast on the trigger. Dupree holding off short. For the time being, he's going to have Freiburg coming in with a P90. NIP a bit worse for wear, though, in terms of health, coming into this 3-on-3. Good positions assumed from Astralis. The fact that Exist picks up that kill and the molly lands dead on top of Device makes this even more difficult for us with the AWP shot. And again, a bit of deja vu. Kirby in another clutch, coming up through connector. It seems Nip called this right off the bat. Beautiful shot from Forest, 2 kills in the round. NIP picked up a 4th, keeping themselves in this.
Very clean off frag, good entries. And nipping that 3v3, secure it. And this half isn't quite over yet. 2 more potentially for NIP to win. Astralis' money, all the money that they earned, that was so hard earned, has been spent, and Kirby is just down to a Pyjamas. This is a player that I don't know who should forfeit their gun, but he's one I'd want to have with the best rifle possible.
I completely agree with that. He's top fragging as well, 15 for 8. This time it's Device that will lift his team into a player advantage. Kirby, again, always skulking around connector. Good for a kill, traded out instantly. It's the weakest of the rifles that will be expended. Exist, Pitt, Freiburg, the 2 players that have certainly inspired the most from the Swedes are dead and buried for round 14. Although Freiburg's 4-man was pretty sick.
Yeah, that was a memorable one for sure. And Exist posted, oh man, how much patience will he have? The stoic member of NIP himself finds a frag. Wow, just think about that for a moment. You know, holding an angle that's asking for a push, you would never expect to get opt in that moment.
Absolutely not. That is insane patience from Exist.
So what this tells NIP is that Astralis are probably overcommitted to B because Dupree had all this information, or maybe the rotate had just started, but it's been a little bit too long. They're gonna have to pull out another read here. At a certain point, the information you get isn't as valuable. Exist looking to continue the op. Oh! Oh!
Get timed, son.
Oh my god.
12 seconds. Freiburg with a 1v3 clutch. Already gone for 1 kill. Second kill could be coming up. Oh, the spray was so close, but Carrigan just about survives, gets himself the kill, and I've got to say, that is so unfortunate for NIP. I mean, take nothing away from Astralis. Beautiful shot from Device.
Yeah.
But
Exist was about to have that lined up, but who knows, you know, who even shoots faster, so benefit of the doubt there to Device. And I mean, I assume if, you know, if Exist pulls the trigger, he gets the collateral, right? And here it is, the stars align, and boom.
You can see as well, there's 20 seconds left, so they have to get a move on. They're almost forced into a position where they go out into the vulnerabilities behind enemy lines.
And that's why we have the anxiousness, right, of trying to move into the site too quickly and not giving the op enough space. But either way, quite an unfortunate way to go down. Astralis now 10 rounds. Firm grasp on this game.
NIP's turn to feel the burn of the economy. Double tech 9s. Free turns away from the flash. They are not going to expect this play from Dupree. If he just plays it patiently, he could have 2 or 3 kills easily. Coming round the corner, the spray is in effect. 2 kills for Dupree. And for all the patience that Exist showed in the previous round, Dupree is going to get rewarded for his in the final round of the half. That being said, hold the phone for a second, because NIP have got themselves back into a 2v2. Exist taking so much damage. Has to be careful. Nearly lands the kill through the smoke.
And the rotate's already coming out. He was just there to buy some time. Pitt's going to be able to get a plant, Exist, can make himself unknown, control the stairs rotation, which is a huge amount of info for Pitt. They know no one's on big flank, that the rotates are coming in from Heaven and CT. This will give him a lot of confidence right now. See, he doesn't have to clear any angles behind him.
But if Astralis push in soon, it's going to effectively be 2 2v1s. Pitt is by himself for the next few seconds. Does he even need help? Great frag onto Kirby. But Kirby can clutch from these situations. He's seen it before. He pulls out the grenade. He'll be throwing onto sandbags. But he will get the kill.
No way.
Oh.
No way. Oh, you sick man. You're laughing at that round.
It's either a laugh or cry kind of scenario.
I know,
right?
yeah. Better to laugh than cry, right? As the machine once said.
It's got to be devastating for Astralis. Great try.
Oh my gosh.
Also, does I say Kirby?
His head was in the right place, right? That grenade just seals it up. He knows Exist is very hurt. It was called out. And, oh man. NIP managed to get that 5th round on the board. I mean, we can look back on it as the half progresses, and maybe if this game gets extremely close, think about that as one of the rounds that... And I suppose, you know, there have been a couple of unfortunate rounds for Astralis, haven't there? Dupree not finishing the frag on whoever it was planning. on B site. That was a round converted.
Oh, it was Get Right.
Get Right, yeah.
Yeah, we saw the shrug and wave combination. A fan favorite here.
A legend in the flesh.
So let's see if those rounds come back to haunt Astralis. They have a commanding lead going through onto the T-half. NIP have been struggling a little bit to keep themselves above water on Overpass.
Certainly so. I mean, Astralis, their game plan has been working through and through. Overall, just a very notable half. Could have easily been 12-3.
Again, we're seeing the information grabbing attempt. This time it's from NIP, this time it's from Get Right. Straight up, round the back, through Monster, towards T-spawn. Forrest, in the meanwhile, has spotted 3 separate terrorists, and he's dealt with one of them. Make that 2. Beautiful play from Forrest. Gearbeat will finally silence him. Oh my goodness, that shot onto Freiburg instantly gets dinked and finished off from Carrigan. So for all of the early round promises made from NIP, it's still up in the air.
Oh, we even have Get Right at long. This is going to help his teammates out so much. Looks for a frag. Bomb goes down, and now it's a 1v3.
Device and his Glock, all that remain. First kill going his way. It could be a second, but no, Pitt will take it. And also, Get Right effectively did a lap of the map. Now through Monster all the way around the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had to work for his kill.
No, ultimately, NIP made the informational play. It paid off. They had a really good flank because of it. And little did Astralis know that that was a huge reason why they lost. And NIP still have the second pistol, looking to make this competitive. 3 bomb assists, an MP7, and a UMP. Potentially all you need.
The Eagles peering up to the jumping Freiburg.
Ego hits that.
He does have an uncanny ability to land shots like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The Deagle is crazy. He'll often buy it in pistol rounds.
He's
Pretty
obvious,
nuts. Accusations real. Get Right. Long range MP7. It's good for 1 kill.
Ooh.
Forrest.
Lets him know.
Just kneecapping Device on the way through. Oh, it's going to cost him his life. And that's a FAMAS as well, so a rifle's been picked up. I assume it was picked up. Maybe the aggression from Pitt was enough to just push them away before they could get their hands on the assault rifle. Meanwhile, Zipnix is coming through B, all by his lonesome for now, but he's getting information. He is going to be able to peer across towards Graffiti, which is where Exist and Freiburg are residing. The Deagle's teeing off, but Dupree's only good for a kill. And NIP are going to claw it back 1 more round. Astralis will be onto a save.
What will be the buy-up here? We actually have 3 players really pulling their weight right now. That was Dupree over in Bathrooms in the first half, able to get himself up to 16 frags right now. Extremely reliable and tethering off Device. And then Kirby on the other side of the map. A huge reason they were able to put together the half that they did.
Gimme round, ultimately. You can expect the ninjas. I say that as Dupree lands a 1-tap on together.
Get laid out.
That's why you always have to put like an asterisk next to any prediction you make. Like it's Counter-Strike. Anything can happen, especially when you have players of this caliber taking part. But it is effectively just a Desert Eagle and a P250 that Astralis have coming through into round 18.
Yeah, not much more than that. I mean,
MP9
the $300 that they wanted to spend on a P250 isn't even being spent.
Hands now firmly wrapped around the MP9. Forrest has his own, and Device just wrecks him!
What a nutter.
What a nutter. Not words I expected to come out of your mouth on this, but let's go with it. 3 for Massive. So the 2 SMGs have been laid to rest, but then resurrected for Astralis. We're holding both of them in the full health of Zipnix and Device. No Kevlar. Aim punch going to be an issue. The Glock, Carrigan, gets Glock blocked.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But look at this.
Site is evacuated.
Right
what just happened?
Nip over-rotating horrendously.
That's, oh my god. There's almost no excuse for that, considering how Astralis don't even have armor here. A travesty if we were to lose this round. That is Nip.
And now they can play the close angles, and this could very well work the way of Astralis. And there we go, that's exactly what I'm talking about. This is all off the back of over-rotating for the Swedes. This is so rough. NIP were finally starting to get themselves back into the map, and just when you thought they'd make up the ground, they trip over their own shoelaces.
I have no idea what info must have been shared to have had 3 players over at the other site. I mean, you know, even forfeiting that much information.
And not even going to keep both the masses either. They're only going to take Freiburgs into the next round, so not even the save paying off for NIP. That's a huge round for Astralis.
Yeah, only to be completely wrong. I have to know how that was possible. And that should have been that should have been, you know, the round that makes it 10-8. Instead, 11-7. Astralis back on their feet. And they're laughing, you know. They're laughing about that. They didn't even expect to be able to plant, I'm sure.
Maybe just a lapse in communication or a poor call. They could hear footsteps on B. I'm not entirely sure.
Had to be.
These things happen. Now, all 10 players decide to go for broke. Get themselves weapons. Astralis, certainly with a better utility and firepower at their disposal. Full AKs, still a healthy dose of grenades. Dupree's already snuck his way behind the sandbags of short. Pop flash will land.
One of the best entrymen for short B in the world.
Yeah, he is nuts in this position. Pop flash was purely so we could try and get an entry pick, but no one was peeking from NIP. This is why Connector can be so important. It allows you to wrap yourself around up here. Yes, the bomb still dropped outside of Monster, but can easily navigate its way through the rocky terrains of A. Double stack in bathroom. Really feel the atmosphere in this map right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Nobody wanting to give away anything for free. The opening pick's got the way of Forest, double for mass spray down. The retaliation push onto B is forthcoming for Astralis. Bomb has been tickled, but it looks like we'll get fully planted. But there's Pip with his AWP. 2 AKs will remain for the Danes.
Oh, there's absolutely no smokes to get any of these choke points. They're going to have to take fights and push.
Why spots himself a player. 2 now in the firing range. There's all force as if Nixon get right with the cheeky FAMAS headshot. NIP, after a brutal previous round of somewhat taking the ship away from the rocks.
Yeah. Now, so Astralis able to benefit from the plant, the fact that they won on an eco, meaning they saved all 5 of them in that round they won. Comes back to pay off, though. It's going to be what looks like a partial buy. There's 2 Tech 9s in the hands, Kirby and Kerrigan, and 3 AKs. So this is a round where they do have a ton of utility, so I would normally say you want to take this quite fast. Try to catch someone off guard, but they have options. They can delay. Work map control as per usual. And the footsteps are being heard underneath them.
Dupree came into this exact position last round. Didn't get too much from it. Now Get Right. Also triggered first. What a shot from Exist. Freiburg as well is there. Get Right with the second. Carrigan has the chance to be a hero for Astralis, but instead he will be silenced, eviscerated by Forest. He has started to move through the gears. You can feel his engine starting to run a little bit more. Started very poorly on the map, but now 9 for 15.
And we started this map 9-2, Vince.
We did.
Suddenly 11-9. NIP on the CT side found their footing, potentially. And Astralis have a lot to prove on their T side. Have actually only won a singular round. That was the full eco. That means that, based on that performance, you should see NIP picking up the majority of the rounds in this half. Now, will that happen? It's unsure to say, but Astralis have done a good job of adjusting. This is a map that they're quite confident on.
Oh!
Oh my gosh.
Hello. Didn't get it last time. This time, beautiful shot.
Whoa.
What does that mean for Astralis, though? Yes, you've got a sexy one tap, but surely there's no hope of them doing anything behind this. You look at their weapons as opposed to NIP. The grenades, the triple incendiaries. Astralis are going to need a couple more shots, you have to feel, from Dupree. Arrogant will be put down in bathroom. Astralis now filtering their way out across the map. Very much split up, actually. One long, one short on A. One monster, one short on B. Looks like the cavalry is about to arrive up on the B site. Pit, don't do this to me. If you landed that jump shot, I would have been so disgusted. I would have been able to speak. We've already seen a crazy no-scope from Forest. We don't need any of those jump shot shenanigans. 23 seconds in send, replays down to stop the push from Astralis, and this is going to funnel them in. They're going to be pushing right through the bottleneck, and it should be a slaughter. Dupree's landed another one tap, by the way, in amongst all of the action, but again, it's just a drop in the bucket. Device. Kills you don't expect Astralis to be able to get, but they take 3 weapons away from NIP.
No, we've got no slouches in the server, Vince. I mean, everybody is hitting shots. Dupree.
That's actually pretty significant. That now forces a couple of drops. Get Right's on $150. Freiburg's around 1,500. You got 1,000 on Pid. So
that's what we like to see.
Those 3 weapons allows Astralis now, if they win this, to put NIP in a really bad position.
That's exactly what we want to see. No one being comfortable. Every round could be worth 2. That's when it's most exciting, and Kirby eating that grenade. So often you see short control being taken. Many safe ways to take it as a terrorist, and Freiburg, where did he get that kill from? Oh my gosh.
Well, Freiburg taking down the first frag now puts Astralis back onto familiar territory on their T-half.
What are we witnessing now, Vince? We're seeing map control being taken, but Astralis losing in their default, similar fashion to the way that NIP lost it in their first half.
I think we're just witnessing Astralis unable to get entry frags.
Yeah, potentially. It was usually, you know, Kirby to win his first duel, Dupree to win his first duel. Forrest put in a bad spot now. Good flash. Can't convert it. He does get the frag and stays alive.
Honestly, getting a kill before dying is so important for Forrest. He did his job.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a horrible place to be in that kind of scenario.
Oh, bank control's being taken. Device has a drop on a player right now. Good on him to not push here. Looks for the kill and does get it. That is going to secure this round. I mean, we have 2 players on a rotate.
Yeah.
Get Right's made noise. His position's compromised.
I was about to say that Get Right's made moves up connector. Smoke still on the site. That's going to clear shortly, and then Get Right will be peeking. Here we go. This is the play from NIP. It all revolves around this. They've got 2 kits. Get Right completely demolished at the hands of Device. And exists with the spray down. He still has time. He knows now what the last player is going to be flashing his way up.
Oh, he's too far away.
And
he can
just stick the defuse.
No.
This is going to be so close. Dupree's going to go for the peek, and this gets taken down.
That was such a mind game there, and well played from Dupree. Ran just far away enough that he wouldn't have to take the duel, and then knew that he had to run back immediately. Exist was going to be too tempted by the option to just stick the plant in a situation where Dupree could be too far away and got called out for it. A 1v1, another clutch won by Astralis.
And this is where those previous 3 weapons lost hurts Nip. Now they're into an eco. If they get that round clearly, they have a full buy-in right now, because they also drop weapons. So that in itself is why the economy plays such a pivotal role in Counter-Strike, especially on the CT side.
Gotta highlight, though, Device's performance on this map. Stellar.
Very well played.
Yeah, and in that round in particular, you know, securing the first frag, the second, doing so much work in specifics.
Dupree's been pulling his weight as well. He's got a lot of impact kills.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been chugging along. Both of them were a little quiet, although Device had a great CT half on Cash. I think Dupree will be a little bit dismayed by how things went. But if they can secure themselves Overpass, that's all a distant memory. Eagle, CZ, the state of play for the Swedes. The Danes going to be looking to break down the front door of Ninjas in Pyjamas. Device is just feeling his way out onto the site, and you can see what Pip was going for while the fire was distracted towards the dumpster. He wanted to try and get himself the kill, but didn't realize there'd be 2 players there. And it's going to be a case of just locking it down for Astralis. 13-10, losing no players. great news for them.
Yeah, there was a good amount of health depleted from Astralis there, but no kills were had. And every one of those could have been vastly important for NiP, who have the stage and come back now. Astralis, if they win this round, have NiP at $0, will be able to secure match point almost certainly. Get Right only has a CZ to his name.
Yeah, to supplement more utility, could have gone for a FAMAS, instead decides CZ's the way to go. It does afford them an extra incendiary, HE and flashbang. dupreeh, as ever, prowling up short, looking for some prey to snack upon. Forest, likewise, comes in and will get knocked out. Kirby, beautiful shot.
His first kill statistic must be ridiculous. And Get Right looking to take a risk, gets punished for it. Device has been camping out there quite often, but gets away with it.
That's the first time I think we've seen that position actually yield something for dupreeh. So
right.
You see that repeating, realizing as well that NiP's economy likely quite lackluster, may force out NiP to try a desperation play as a result of lack of grenades and firepower. Hit now, the next player to try and do the same. The timing on the flashbang, not quite up to scratch. Exist, it's his turn. He will get the first kill for NiP, joined by his teammate the Freiburg on 2 health, but this could very well be a safe situation for NiP.
Almost certainly. Freiburg about to bleed out here on his last limbs, and Astralis pick him up, and they're just so dominant right now. Have just picked up another round, 4 alive this time, and have come back in the face of adversity, losing the pistol 3 rounds in a row, have put together 3-4 themselves. And it's going to be up to NiP to decide what to do. Essentially, you'd think the sound decision would be to simply save and fight back 5 rounds in a row on a bye. Your best opportunity to win, you know. NiP not a team known to tilt or to make rash decisions when it comes to buying. Have a plan and strategy in place for any amount of utility that they can get their hands on, so it makes sense. But to eat this round, to be on match point, how stressful that must be.
Especially when at one point Astralis were looking to struggle a tiny bit. We had a 12-10 scoreline. It seemed that the Ninjas finally would get themselves back into the match. Kirby, first kill and second as well, looking, maybe he'll get his triple. Carrigan takes that away from him. Another day at the office.
Wow.
For Astralis, don't lose a single point of health except for on Zip next, who lost 2, I think. But now, NiP have 5 rounds to try and save to take us to overtime. As a result of the save, they're going to have a glass cannon AWP in the hands of Forest. Rest of the team to them 4s. No defuse kits, however.
Not a single kit on the board. Oh my god. No, that could be critically important. Likely to see a plant. Astralis have gotten away with it so many times now. And there's the long B smoke to shut down any fast aggression. Didn't work so well for Astralis in the first place. Suffice to say, wow, Forest wins his duel with Device. And that's a very important opening frag. You know, knocking down the most expensive rifle in the round, keeping control of long, and being able to focus your attention elsewhere. Oh wow, calling out the rotate back are 2 players from Astralis. And Kirby getting the headshot. Instant trade. Seeing the smoke as well is huge. And will he win the duel? No, Carrigan gets it. All the rotates getting shut down as well. And that's it, dupreeh with the 3K. Shuts it down and Astralis bring it home. Map 2 won by them.
What a way to finish off the map for dupreeh. 27-15, Device 25-15, Kirby 23-17.
Wow. Now everyone really pulling their weight. Exactly the players you'd expect. And it looks like a tough loss for NiP, who had a really, really close opportunity there. They're, as you mentioned, you pointed out the round that was so important that if they had to save it, it meant that Astralis' lead would just get too great. They ended up losing it, so I'm sure they felt similarly that, you know, that was kind of where it changed, right? That's where it all changed.
So this is pretty much gone the way we expected. We thought Cash would likely go NiP, we thought Overpass would go Astralis. It's all down to Cobblestone.
Yeah.
Where does your money go on Cobblestone?
I think NiP have Cobblestone. I don't think Astralis or slouches on it, but I have a lot of faith in new NiP on Cobblestone. I feel like they really know this map and are super comfortable on it now. That being said, no, they felt like they could win Overpass as well, and Astralis have so much to prove, especially with their new pickup. So either team winning this wouldn't be a surprise to me at all, and I think that's what's so exciting.
Well, we'll find out the answer to the question of who will take the decisive third map after this very short commercial break. You don't want to miss this.